Welcome to Focus on Finding Balance. Many people ask me about balance in my classes because it's an important topic. We want to make sure that we can stay upright as we move through the world, right? There's so many aspects of balance we could touch on, but today I'm going to be focusing on a physical aspect of balance. And there's the core, right, that helps you stay upright. Again, I'm not going to focus on this video because I work in all my classes on the core because it's important for posture, for balance, for sense of self. Today, I'm going to be focusing on your feet and the connection between your brain and your feet for healthy balance. So there is a balance point at the base of each foot at the second and third toe at the ball mound. So those are the places when you lift up your heels and press in, this when you're standing upright, this is a place, a balance point that you can work. Now to work that brain-body connection, you want to bring in as many senses as you can together into one place. Yoking or uniting or yoga-ing, that's what yoga means, to yoke or unite, those things together so that your brain can really fully experience where that point is so it can enlist it when it needs to. So you want to bring your feeling as you lift your heels. You can feel those balance points into the floor. When we hinge forward, we're going to see them. And then we're also going to say balance points, bringing the voice into, which is studies have shown can activate that brain-body connection more. So what you're going to do is just paddle out your feet. Right away, your brain is feeling, oh, there's the bottom of my feet, right? Stimulating nerve endings, getting that communication together. And now in seated mountain, which is shoulders over hips, legs straight out of hip sockets, knees over ankles, we're going to lift the heels, feeling into the balance points. We can hinge forward. We'll see and say balance points. And then we're going to hinge back, lower the heels and fluff out your toes. Again, we're going to lift the heels, hinge forward, see them lifting, and we'll say out loud, balance points, bringing everything together. Then lower the heels, fluff out your toes, release. Do it one more time. I like to do things in threes. Lift the heels, hinge forward, see, feel, and say, balance points. Oh, I love you, balance points. Lower the heels and fluff out the toes, release. You might even want to counter stretch. If it's available, you can lift one foot, curl the toes under, and stretch the top of the foot. Go easy if you have tender feet. And just make sure you do that counter stretch if it's available. You can also just gently open and close the foot. Or if you're here, lift the foot and just flex. But you always want to do a little counter stretch. So now that we've felt into our balance points, we've kind of reintroduced our brain to our balance points, let's see how we can use them in the standing posture. So now that we know where our balance points are, we're going to use them in a supported balance posture to do some weight bearing on that to give a little oomph to our work. So I'm going to have you face a chair or a counter or somewhere that's going to support you as you do this. I like to imagine that I've stashed my emergency chocolate on the top shelf of a cabinet and I'm looking to find it. Gives us a little motivation. So you're going to face the counter, the chair, whatever it is, and you're going to start with your feet hips width distance apart. And let's just start by working the balance points. We're going to look forward, lift your heels, come up on the balance points, and then you're going to lower right back down. Paddle out the toes, release. So you'll notice on the first go around, if that feels okay, if your feet are going to cramp, if your feet are crampy, you can stretch the tops of the feet here gently, easily, mindfully, and just know where you're at with it. If it feels okay, again, you're going to bring the gaze forward, feet or hips width distance, and we're just going to relax, lift the heels, come up on the balance points. You can even feel them, say them, balance points, and then lower the heels and then counter stretch, paddle at your feet. If it feels okay to go on, we're going to lift up onto the heels, come up on the balance points, and then raise one arm. Oh, we're going to find that chocolate. I know I put it up here somewhere. And then we're going to lower the hand, lower the heels, bend the knees, and just paddle out your feet. Just release in whatever way feels good. If that felt okay, maybe try the other. If not, maybe just lift and lower. Maybe that's where you're at to start. Especially if you have tender feet, this can be big, this kind of stretching if you're not used to it. So just be mindful. If it feels okay to move forward, you're going to come into that original stance, look forward, lift up onto the ball mounds. Maybe the other hand. Oh, maybe it's on the other side of the cabinet. Maybe it's there. And then lower the heels, bend the knees, and release. One more thing we'll add, and this gets the core. Again, I'm not going to focus too much on the core, but lifting. They call this the bandhas or locks in the body in yoga that help us lift up out of gravity so we're not constantly being crunched down by the world, right? So you're going to feel when you breathe out, the navel is contracting. There's going to be a place there that you're going to lift into as part of your balance. So again, maybe just playing with the balance points, activating them, maybe lifting up one arm, maybe lifting up the other. If it feels okay, you're going to lift up under the balance points, feel that lifting in the belly, make sure you're breathing, and then maybe one arm lifts and maybe the other. And we're going to find this chocolate, find it somewhere. Oh, there it is. And then we're going to lower the heels, lower the hands, bend your knees, and then we're going to just stand and lower the flop out the toes, and then maybe stretch the top of the foot. So that is an exercise you can do when you're actually looking for something, if it's not too high up, when you're in still points waiting for the coffee to brew or something like that. And then if you want to, you can take a counter stretch, right? I call this the kitchen sink stretch, because if you're washing dishes for a while, you can step back, lengthen your spine, make sure you're not putting any cramps anywhere, make sure you're not crunching the spine or anything, and then come back up. So these are some things that you can do to work on your balance. If you're concerned about your balance, there's other things that you can do. If there's other things that are contributing to balance issues, you definitely want to see a doctor to make sure there's nothing going on with vertigo or anything like that. Go mindfully. But I hope you found this helpful. If so, please let us know in the comments. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.